Welcome into another episode of the Sports Take Show. Matthew Coller and Derek Wetmore here. And though most people are counting the Vikings out against the Dallas Cowboys this Thursday, Derek, you not so much. You say the Vikings have a chance.
I do think they have a chance, and part of it's just because I don't feel like I'm a contrarian, Matthew, and you don't know me that well yet. We've only been working together for a couple of months, but I think a lot of people would describe me as a bit of a wet blanket. Like, if someone starts to get excited about Team X or Player Y, I say, well, like, why did your opinion change overnight? You should consider your prior opinion and then take all this new information in. That's fine. That's good. You should always be open to changing your mind on things. But, like, you shouldn't change it in 30 seconds based on another blip of a data point. So anyways, a long way of saying that I kind of like the idea of sticking with your first instinct on a team. And for me, before all these injuries on the offensive line, that was this Vikings team is pretty damn good and easily the best I've seen since 2009 when Brett Favre took over. Conversely, the Cowboys looking really, really strong right now, and a lot of people are high on them. But I just see everybody rushing to call this game before it's even played, that it's a no contest in favor of the Cowboys. I heard somebody today say they should win by 3 touchdowns. And I just think, well, maybe we're buying on the Cowboys a little too quickly and that we're not giving the Vikings enough credit. I think they'll possibly lose, Matthew, but to say that they have no shot in this game is a huge overstatement for me.
Okay, so what is it then that makes you think they do have a shot? Because I'm not really in disagreement with you. I think that Dallas has the best offensive line since Dallas in the 90s, and when they're pushing opponents back 3 yards before Ezekiel Elliott is even coming into contact, I mean, that's pretty incredible. But they do have a rookie quarterback against a Mike Zimmer defense, and, you know, maybe their overall team, their offense is great, but maybe their overall team isn't as strong. Is that your case?
Well, that's my idea. I think they'll score some points, but I also don't really think they've seen the caliber of defense this year that the Vikings are capable of being. I'm not saying that the Vikings are for sure going to go back to being that hellfire unit we saw through 5 weeks that we were kind of jokingly calling the Zim Reapers, and that, you know, everyone had their own nickname for them, right? Well, now it's like this unit over the past couple of games hasn't really deserved a nickname. They've been somewhat nondescript, even though they've been, for the most part, healthy. And I get that injuries are a big excuse on the offensive line, but I guess my point being that I don't think Dallas has had to really contend with the caliber of defense that the Vikings are capable of playing. So they'd have to play probably their best defensive game to keep points off the board of the Dallas Dak Prescotts. But I also think you look at the other side, and though we make fun of the Vikings offense all the time and they struggle to run the ball, they struggle to move the ball in general. Sam Bradford had a pretty stat line, but not a good game last Thursday on Thanksgiving. I still don't think that the Dallas defense is actually all that good, and so that the Vikings, if they get on track there, they have a chance to be the better team in terms of those two matchups. I was looking at Pro Football Reference's expected points stat, and they rate Dallas as the 8th worst team in the league in terms of what you would expect them to give up based on the yardage they allow throughout a game. It's not how football's played. I know that matters, and I'm throwing in a lot of ifs and buts here. But my big takeaway point is that Vikings defense should do okay against Dallas's great offense, and their offense is actually positioned to be able to take advantage of Dallas's pretty bad defense. So the scales could tip towards Minnesota for that reason.
Yeah, it might depend on whether they can get Joe Berger and Jeremiah Searles back. Searles did practice, and Berger did not, so we'll see on that. But if they're on their 15th string tackle and their backup center, even if the defense for Dallas isn't that good, it's still going to be tough sledding for the Vikings. And the other thing, Derek, is that Detroit did not have, sorry, I'm watching the Denver game. Detroit did not have a very good defense themselves, and the Vikings still could not move the ball against them. So it doesn't exactly inspire a whole lot of confidence.
There are a lot of ifs. Sam Bradford has to play really well. The Vikings either have to establish a run game or find some way to take the place of those plays with quick screens, this and that. or they just have to play out of their mind defensively and get another pick six or a special teams touchdown. A lot of things would have to go right for Minnesota to win this game, but I'm saying there's a chance.